In this lesson, we're going to look at practicing the essay style. Now, practicing the essay style is important because, like everything else, the more you practice something, and in the same with essay writing, the easier it gets. So what we're going to do in this video is we're going to look at a sample of writing and a sample of a bad piece of writing, something that's not going to do very well as an essay, and change it into something much better. All right, so we're going to change it using all of the skills and techniques that we learned if you watched the last video on essay style, and we're going to turn it into a much better answer. So we're going to start practicing. So in the first lesson, we looked at this example question: are pigs able to fly? We have another answer to that question, and that answer is, I think that pigs are too stupid to fly because they don't really have any way of being able to fly. Like, all they do is sit in mud and mess around all day and get fat, and it's because they're so fat that they can't fly. All right, it's not a very good answer, that one. Okay, there are a number of reasons why it's not very good, and we'll go through each of them. So we're going to go through a step-by-step process, and we're going to just go through some things that we can get rid of, and we'll just pretty much do it one by one. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to get rid of all the contractions in there because they're the most obvious mistakes that we've got. Let's bring that example up again, and we've got a contraction here. We have one, where's another one? We've got one there, we've got one over there, and we've got one right there. We've got 4 examples there of contractions. Now, the simplest way of being able to fix these up is to write them out as 4 words. So, do not, it is, they are, and cannot. All right, yes, okay, it does mean you write a little bit more, but I mean, it's only a couple of letters, seriously. But it's much neater and it makes the essay style a lot cleaner anyway. Okay, there you go. That's the first step. The second step is we need to start getting rid of things like colloquial language and expressions that we can find. All right, so let's bring it back up again. Some things that we can get rid of. Well, let's look at this one, like, for instance. Now, like is not a colloquial phrase, but it is when it's used in this case, when it's starting a sentence. Because it's something that we would do in conversation. Like we'd say this, like we'd say that. So we need to get rid of that. And mess around. That doesn't mean anything apart from what you assume it to mean. So because it's an essay, we need to get rid of words like that. We need to get rid of colloquial expressions. So mess around, we mean, okay, to lie about, but it can mean something different to different people. So we need to get rid of it. So all they do is sit in mud in leisure all day and get fat. Okay, so we've now changed it into something more specific. And we've used specific words with their specific meanings. But we're still not done yet because there's still a bit more we need to do. The next step is we need to get rid of feelings and comments. And we also need to get rid of that I we have at the start of the sentence. We've got it up one more time. Start with I think or I think that. We can get rid of that entirely. We can get rid of too stupid too, because that's an assumption that we've made. So what that means is it's something that we think, but we can't prove it. We haven't got anything to say, oh, pigs are stupid and that's the reason why they fly. And I don't think stupidity has anything to do with flying. Birds have very, very tiny brains and they can fly. So it's nothing to do with stupidity. So we'll get rid of that. All they do is sit in mud in leisure all day. That's, again, it's what we call a generalization. Now, a generalization just means that it's something that a lot of people would know and a lot of people would think, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's true of everyone or every species of pig or every type of pig. So it's not probably what they do all day. I mean, they probably have other things that they do other than just sit and lie around in mud, but it's a generalization and we need to get rid of it. So if we rub that out and we go on to the next, we've got now a lot less. Pigs cannot fly because they do not really have any way of being able to fly. They are fat, and it's because they are so fat they cannot fly. All right, so now we're starting to get away from comments and feelings. And now we're starting to really get into essay mode. But we can still go further. Okay, so the next step now is to start being a bit more specific. And we can go a bit further now from what we've done before. Because what we've done before was good, and we're starting to get more in the line of an essay style. But we can always be a little bit more specific, and you can always be a bit more specific wherever you can. It means that we can add extra information and we can make our point much better. So let's bring up our example again. We find here that we've got this point. Really have any way of being able to fly. we can probably change that into something a little bit more specific. So what would make them be able to fly? Something like, for instance, wings. Pigs cannot fly because they do not have wings. Not only now do we have a very simple topic sentence, but we have one that's very specific. So it's a much better answer than what we had before. Okay, so step 5 and the final step here is we're going to look at trying to keep our answer on topic. Right, and if we bring it up, we notice here that we've got 2 different sentences here. We've got one which is about wings, and our second sentence here, they are fat, and it's because they are fat they cannot fly. So this one's really about them being fat. All right, now one thing you find is that we've gone from wings to fat. So we've gone off topic. So what we need to do is we need to change that second sentence. And that's what we need to think about doing. So how do we change the second sentence? Well, we're pretty much going to have to scrap it and start it again. Without wings, they are able to fly like birds can. And that there is our finished step and also our finished product. So we've gone from something very long to much, much shorter. Now you might be going, oh, that means I have to do more work. Yes, it does. But the more work you do and the better you make this sound, then the less of your work that's going to be crossed out and you get a better mark. So really, it's actually saving you work because the less you have, or I guess in your response, but the better it is much better than if you have a lot of writing, but it doesn't really mean anything. So really think about having quality over quantity. So that means is what you write should be really, really good. It doesn't have to be a lot, although you obviously would try and write to the word limit, and you would also try put as much detail in as you can. But the more detailed you can make it, the better. And on that note, we'll finish it there. So until next time, I'll see you later.